Still swooning from the news of Meghan Markle's engagement to Prince Harry, and stoked for a 2018 wedding. It's a milestone that those who've loved and loved again may be particularly relishing, as this will be Meghan Markle's second marriage. The accomplished actress and humanitarian was married to actor and producer Trevor Engelson from 2011 to 2013. She was 30 years old when they wed, but was reportedly dating him since 2004. While second marriages have been shown to have a higher divorce rate, many remarried women and relationship experts find that things can be much better the second time around. Here are the words of wisdom for Markle and anyone getting ready to walk down the aisle. Point 1. How long you've been together is irrelevant. Markle and her first hubby were an item for several years before they tied the knot. She's only been dating Harry for about a year and a half. One could try and argue that they still don't know one another well enough and that such a big decision should take more time to be made, but their argument would quickly fall flat. I knew my first husband for 5 years before getting married, says Esther Gonzalez, an educator based in North Carolina. We married at 27. It's mature, but I was too young. We met junior year of college, and after being together for so long it was the next step. After a few years of marriage, Gonzalez and her first love split, and she met Adam. She was 32 and he was 31. They wed after 9 months of knowing one another. Nearly 7 years later, they have 2 children together and couldn't be happier. Point 2. Take time to reflect on what went wrong last time. Perhaps the last thing Markle or anyone may want to do in the wake of a blissful engagement is think about her past divorce, but Kemi Sogolay, a relationship expert and the author of Beyond the Pain: A Return to Love, encourages reflecting on what went wrong. The first marriage gave you reasons why you should not settle for less, says Sogolay. You should evaluate your requirements, the non-negotiables, and reflect on the lessons learned. Take time to grieve, heal, forgive and move forward in newness. Point 3. This isn't your first marriage, but it's still a first love. This may be Markle's second marriage, but it's her first with Prince Harry, and his first marriage to anyone. Now is a time to wipe the slate clean, start over completely, and, as psychologist Dr. Nexia Hammond says, experience a new you. This is a new relationship. You can take on a new perspective about yourself, set new parameters and be an all-around better person, Hammond says. Divorce tends to teach people quite a bit about themselves and what they truly need of a partner, as well as just what they're able to give. Divorce tends to teach people quite a bit about themselves and what they truly need of a partner, as well as just what they're able to give. Point 4. Your expectations are probably more realistic. Tony Coleman, a psychotherapist and relationship coach, finds that those who remarry tend to be much more realistic about their expectations the second time around. The biggest problem I encounter with first married couples is that they have high expectations and no experience, says Coleman. The second time, they're much more realistic. They know that something won't change just because they've gotten married, and they have a more mature, balanced idea of what they want. Also, they're more likely to have spotted any red flags beforehand. Point 5. Don't take a moment for granted. Coleman notes that remarried couples may be more inclined to put effort into preserving the second marriage, in part because they have a first-hand idea of how much work it takes. Elizabeth Stitt, a parenting coach, can relate. My second marriage has been so much better than my first because I have not taken it for granted. Stitt. I have worked on it by developing specific habits that keep me focused on it. For example, even if I am exhausted and ready for bed, I take the time to sit on the couch and press up next to my husband every night. Maybe all we do is TV, but it makes me feel connected to him after a day of running around. Point 6. You know what you need, and what you can give a thought. It's a painful way to learn. Divorce tends to teach people quite a bit about themselves and what they truly need of a partner, as well as just what they're able to give. The second time is better because you have a better idea of what you need from a partner, where you struggle with communication and can do better, and what you absolutely cannot give in on, says Kate Sukal, a writer based in Houston, Texas, who remarried about 4.5 years ago at the age of 39. The first time around, it seems to be all about the fairy tale and not enough about the work involved with making a relationship last. The second time around, you were ready to banish the fairy tale and think long and hard about what it really takes to make a sustainable and happy marriage. Point 7. The wedding isnt the achievement but who could even think of banishing the fairy tale when the story of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry is so much like Quán and the fabulous wedding that is just a few months away. It's all so exciting. Well, we may be desperately enamored, but Markle is likely well aware that a glorious ceremony has little to do with her happily ever after. She may not have had such perspective when she first wed with her first marriage. Women tend to see the wedding as the goal, says Coleman. The second time, though, they recognize that the wedding is only the beginning, not the accomplishment. It's what comes after that matters. But yes, it's hard not to see it all as a kind of hope. She literally found her prince the second time. Want more tips like these? NBC News Better is obsessed with finding easier, healthier and smarter ways to live. Sign up for our newsletter and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.